Hel- Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. I'm not going to introduce everybody because they're going to introduce themselves, but my host is Maria McQuillan, and we've got Ashley Bennallack with us. So welcome to our webinar, Building a Business with Purpose and Impact. So before we go on, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land on which we work and live, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And we are broadcasting today from Naarm, which is Melbourne, and it's the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. So I'm Sara Pantaleo, and I am a business coach and mentor, and I also sit on boards. These are some of the brands that I represent. And one of the things that I work in is family businesses and franchises, and I am on the Family Business Association board. My business is Affari SP. Affari means business in Italian, SP, sustainable profit, because I advocate for triple bottom line mindset. And why the Sustainable Development Goals logo is there is because one of the things that I foster is community, and the fact that even though we're in business to be profitable and make money, we also have to think about our community, the people, and the environment. So welcome today. I also run a charity called Maura Kelly Creating Hope Foundation, and that's one of the ways I give back. Maria.
Good morning, or good afternoon. Maria McQuillan. I own and operate Consonate Financial Services. We specialise in residential and commercial or business finance, and I'm here to assist Sara with the presentation today.
Thank you, Maria. Ashley.
Morning, everybody. My name's Ashley Bennallack. I run Thriving Minds Collective, which is a workplace wellbeing and psychological safety consulting business. So I train in mental health and wellbeing for workplaces and for small business owners, and also consult into the ever broadening space of psychological safety and psychosocial hazards at the moment. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ashley. And so, what is building a purpose with, building a business with purpose and impact? Today we're just going to cover about the fact that doing that does not happen by accident. There's got to be some planning and some thought behind it. And one of the ways to do that is by articulating your purpose. So I'm going to take you through that. And then Ashley is going to cover what does the healthy workplace look like and some of the tips on how to make it that way. Is that right, Ash?
I'm actually going to give the guys a bit of a quick workshop on some tiny nudges that they can use to improve their own mental well-being and fitness. So it should be good fun.
And along the way, Maria, I'd love for you to come in because I know that you work for many different brands. I know you're helping me facilitate, but I know all the years of expertise that you've got. Please step in at any time. If you've got any questions, you can put them in the chat and Maria will be monitoring that. So, Deloitte says purpose-driven companies witness higher market share gains and grow on average 3 times faster than their competitors, all while achieving higher employee and customer satisfaction. So, what I'm here to tell you today, the future of business is about ESG. It is about the environmental and the social governance of your business. And if you want your business to thrive, the experts, you'll see lots of research out there. I've only used this quote from Deloitte, but there are many research and lots of research out there that tells you that if you do have a business that is purpose-driven, you will achieve better results. And you know what? You may even become an employer of choice because these days, all the future generations, they care about this. But, you know, what does a business with impact look like? What do people look for? What do future clients want? I mean, these are just some examples that I'm giving you here today. Patagonia, I can tell you my daughter loves this brand, and we were in Dubai just recently, and you know what, one of these wind cheaters was not very cheap. However, it is supported because of their true commitment to environmental sustainability and what they do in that social space, right? And you know, Legos, we all love Legos, but people would think, oh, Legos is plastic, you know, how could they make an impact? But they are actually, they've got quite ambitious goals set up, and they do every effort to use products that are sustainable. And these brands are not brands that are just the corner shop. So having an impact does not mean you cannot be a successful business. But my question to you is, do you have a strategy in your business? Because, and this is the piece where I say it doesn't happen by accident. In order for you to create impact in a business, you must have a plan, right? And the strategy is a plan in action designed to achieve your business goals. But to have an authentic strategy, you've got to have some foundation with it. And what I want to talk to you about today is that, you know, this is like a depiction of Maslow's triangle, you know, when, you know, what are the fundamental needs of the world? I've created it in business, right? And down here where we've got the action, the key result areas and the KPIs, that's the stuff that we do every single day to run our business. But in order to make that happen, what is your ethos? What do you stand for? And how are you going to make that happen? You can't make the business happen without having your purpose and your values. And I highly recommend that you set those out first when you start a business. So if you don't have them, absolutely do that. Because when you do set that and the foundation of how you're going to behave and the reason why you exist, then you can set a vision. And the vision is about your aspiration. What do you want to be for the future, right? And then execute your mission. You can't set your strategic objectives if you don't understand your ethos and what you stand for. So what I'm going to take you through today is how to set the purpose, the vision, mission, and values, and how they help you execute your strategies and get you to do every day what you do in your business. So articulating your purpose. What are you best at? Are you good at solving people's problems? Because, you know, some of us are in the service business. Some of us are in the people business. We might be a lawyer that's looking after family members, or we might be a restaurant. You know, we're a restaurant, we're feeding people, but we're really creating experiences. You really need, when you're articulating your purpose and you want to build your brand, is your thing managing a product portfolio, or is your thing marketing? Whatever it is, or are you really good at speed to market? You need to understand that. But do you have a compelling vision? So have a think about that. When your customers think about you, do they think about that vision? When I was at La Porchetta, I was the CEO of La Porchetta for a few years. Our vision was to become the largest Italian restaurant in Australia and New Zealand. Really? Is that about my clients? Is that about our clients? What is it? What are we doing for our clients? Didn't really mean much. It was all about us. So what we did when we revisited that, we thought about our customers, we thought about our franchisees and what we executed, and it became, we create the Italian experience and you create the memories. That resonates a lot more, doesn't it? So a vision and a purpose needs to be emotional. So I'm going to take you through that. And it needs to resonate with your clients, and it needs to be about your clients and your customers. So your purpose is your why, the reason why you exist, the reason why you're in business. And you know, Facebook is got, we believe that connection is a human right. Amex, we believe it is noble to serve others. So it's an emotional thing. It's got nothing about, you know, Facebook marketing and that they're feeding us all the marketing content that we probably don't want. Amex has got nothing to do about a credit card and fees or anything like that. But they talk about serving others. Why? Because the majority of their clients, they are people in restaurants and sell products. And so it's all about that service of others, right? But once you articulate your why, I'm going to take you through this process quickly, but then I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've done for some of my clients to put it a bit more in perspective, right? And I've got some product clients and I've got some service clients. So your reason why you exist, the reason why you get up every day. But your vision is your where you want to get to. When you achieve your mission, right, what is it that you want for your customers? And like I said to you, La Poquera was that we want them to create their memories through our food. And what is it that changes their life for the better? What's in it for them? That's what you've got to think about. Everything that you do when you're setting these is about that emotion and showing the customer the reasons why they come to you. I love Airbnbs. We will help you belong anywhere. So true, right? Because it's like a home and we feel like we belong in that space. Uber, we will change the way the world moves. They certainly have. So your mission is really about the business that you're in, what you specialize in, and what you actually do every day. That's that piece about, in my triangle, that KPI, KRAs, all the stuff that's in that day busy life that we do. And Google is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. TED, that's my favorite. Spread ideas. But LinkedIn, connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. The key to this is, in all of these statements as well, they need to be succinct. They need to be not too wordy. Because all that other stuff, do not try and put everything in here and everything in the kitchen sink. It is really important that it resonates with one sentence. You will have the opportunity to show your brand, showcase your brand through marketing. But having these, the purpose, the vision, the mission, and your values, it's really about saying, this is why we exist. This is where we'd like you to be when we really achieve our mission. That's our vision. And our values are how we behave. There is no point having values in business, right, that say we are authentic, and then you walk in and no one greets you if you're in a service business. Or you go to a law firm and they think about charging by the 6-minute charges instead of thinking about what your needs are, right? So it's really about being true to those values, and they need to be authentic. I remember, I can't recall the gentleman, but I went to a seminar a few years ago, Maria, you might remember, it was through franchising, and it was a session about the unwritten ground rules. And what it talks about, the unwritten ground rules is that you might have a plaque. I remember when I was a NAB in IT, we used to have a plaque on the wall that told us our values. If you asked me today, I would not remember them. They were on a plaque, but we did not live them. For you to be truly authentic, your team have to show and live them. And one of the things that when I was a CEO at Lapkit and we were creating these statements, the question was, can we live by it? And, you know, when we did our values with the service, we put one of our values was care, right? Because we care for the customers. And I said to the franchisees, we are not about fine cuisine. We're about friendly. We are friendly. We greet people. We smile at people as soon as they walk in, right? And the same for a service business. You know, if you say you're going to get back to someone, you know, if one of your values is accountability, that you're going to get back to them within 24 hours, you must get back within 24 hours. Because otherwise, with your team as well, if they think the leader doesn't, because honestly, all of these are led by the leadership of the business, but it's got to involve the whole team to assist you to do them. If you have a team, you do it as a workshop, right? But if you don't lead it, if you're not accountable to your team, do you think they're going to be accountable to each other? So it is really, really important, whatever you do, you must live by it and you must be authentic. HubSpot says humble, empathetic, adaptable, remarkable, and transparent. The reason why I showed you this is because I was with HubSpot and I left them. They are definitely not humble. My experience with them on my exit was not great. They overcharged me for something. I was questioning it. I couldn't get to speak to a person. So I don't think they were very empathetic. So my experience with HubSpot is I don't believe they lived their values. Zoom, care for community, customers, company, teammates, selves, and so forth. So in your business, you understand your business. And if you've got a team, you've got to work with your team to come up with these. I'm going to give you an example with mine, even though you think, why do you have them? There's only one of you. But I think it's important for my clients to understand what I stand for. And mine is, we believe every business needs leadership to achieve greatness. That's my purpose. My purpose is to coach and mentor business leaders to reach their full potential. Hence my vision, realizing the full potential of business leaders. Because I do believe business success is led by the leader, but it's that transformational leadership of leading your people well that achieves the success. We foster leaders to transform and grow their businesses while being socially conscious and sustainable. One of the things that I foster is in business, that triple bottom line mindset, that it's environment, it's about people, planet, and profit. And absolutely, categorically, profit is important. You can't make a difference in the world as a business if you are not profitable. But at the same time, you can be good in community and still care about the planet. And I do help businesses with the circularity of their business and how they actually achieve that. So my values are curious, accountable, do everything with integrity, care and respect, inclusive of all people. That accountability is a two-way street for me. I need to be accountable to my clients, but they need to be accountable to me because I hold them accountable. That's one of the things that I do. But I'm going to quickly whiz through because you're going to get a copy of the slides. Some of the ones that I helped a pasta retailer. We believe in creating enjoyment of life through pasta. She sold fresh pasta. She didn't make the pasta, but her whole place was all about pasta and how you put it all together. And she was so passionate about it. She's a business in Queen Victoria Market, gorgeous lady. And I go there and get, I can make pasta at home, but when I want to buy pasta, I do go to her. We want to see a plate of pasta on every table in every home. Her mission, be the most accessible marketplace where you find your favorite pasta. Values, fun, fun, fun. And she was an absolutely fun lady, right? So I get why she did that. She wanted that for her team. Fairness with all, care in all that we do. Cleanliness is at the core of our values. Honesty in all our dealings. One of my clients who was with me for quite a while, Maria knows this client. We articulated their statements. We believe in your right to own and create legacy with ownership of property. Now, she did both conveyancing and she wrote wills. So it was about, we did a session with this. She's a solopreneur, and it was about, she really cares about that legacy and owning property, right? Her vision, we will protect your legal interests while you grow your property portfolio. So even it's a double playing here because she does both, the will, and she helps people buy more property or buy and sell. Her mission, providing the most efficient, hassle-free experience every time. One of the things when we were articulating this and when we were going through this process, the question I had for her is, what is the one thing that your customers say about you with their experience with you? And this kept coming back over and over again. We had to have a hassle-free in her mission because she does that every day. And obviously being a lawyer, integrity is very important, and respect, as well as that positive difference to people's lives and care. And really, I just want to recap here quickly. I've covered a lot. Really, if you want to be a business with impact and purpose and have people that want to work for you, you need to be a leader that has a plan, sets purpose, vision, mission, and sets values. Have the strategic goals. Ensure that you set them clearly with your team. Bring them along for the journey. They've got to be part of this. And don't forget to measure, is it working? Isn't it working? What can we do differently? And stop doing things that don't work. And be really clear on how your purpose relates to your customers, and align your purpose, vision, mission, and values to your strategy. So what I'm talking about this, it's not just with external clients, it's with your people internally, with your employees. Do you look after them? Are you aligned with them? And is what you do every day when you do your strategy, is it aligned to all of that? And ensure that your team is involved, because if you want it to be right, you need to include your team. Measure, measure, and measure. And there are some upcoming webinars. I'll put this slide up later as well, and this you'll get in the slides as well, but I'm going to stop sharing. Bear with me for a moment, because if you've got any questions, we'll leave them till the end. But did you send me did you want me to share your PDF? Oh, you're on mute.
Okay.
On the bottom.
Sorry,
That's
Sarah.
better, Ash.
Yeah.
So did you send me your PowerPoint, or did you want me to do? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Just bear with me for one moment.
Yeah, no problem. And while you get started there, did you want me to start off so I don't keep people
Absolutely, absolutely. Please do.
So thanks everyone for your time today, and thanks, Sarah. I'm here going to quickly run you through what I call tiny wellbeing nudges. So to give you some context around this, anybody who has staff at the moment will hopefully be aware that if you're in Sydney from October 1st, and if you're in any other states in Australia, there are new work-safe laws and legislation coming out all around the psychological health of employees. So anybody who has who employs people in Australia from pretty much this year is going to have a new set of guidelines that they have to abide by to both be aware of and then take active steps to minimise and then educate staff about these psychological hazards and social hazards in their workplace. So that's where that psychosocial term comes in. So there's an occupational health and safety element to that, which is literally going through and identifying hazards and the likelihood that they'll happen and the risk and the intensity, and then having plans to minimise them and all those sorts of things. And then there's an education piece, which is around training our employees to better manage their own mental health and wellbeing so that we can reduce the potential of those hazards happening. And
can you see that? Sorry.
Yep, I can.
Right.
Thank
You
you.
tell me when you want me to change the slide. Thanks.
No problem. So once we get to, that's where we then come into people like myself doing mental health and wellbeing training and psychological safety consulting. So I can come in and help people find the hazards in their workplace and then also help you train your staff. So I'm a partner with the Wellbeing Lab. You can see there, my company's Thriving Minds Collective. So this presentation is actually being presented by the Wellbeing Lab, which is a global consultancy in this game. So we've got all the latest research here. So let's get cracking. We've got like 20 minutes here to spend together. So I'm going to do the best I can to squeeze the most I can into this for you. But I'm going to start with a question for you. So acknowledging that everyone in the room is perfectly imperfect and we're all somewhere along the scale of like messy to feeling really good, and that we all have very different work and personal factors that we're navigating right now, and that is all perfectly fine. So we go into this with a feeling of curiosity and accepting that everybody comes here today doing the best they can with what they've got. It's going to be a very uplifting session, don't worry. And the other thing that I like to also refer to is that I don't really like the term mental health because lots of people have negative connotations to that. And I prefer to use mental fitness because with looking after ourselves from a wellbeing perspective, it's a never-ending game. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, sometimes we struggle, sometimes we flourish, just like with our fitness. So I like to use the word fitness. So I've got a question for you. If you had to pick a food item to best describe your state of well-being today, which food item would you be selecting? I'm just going to try to get your brain into a space where it's open for lots of different possibilities here. And then another question, finish this sentence for me. I think well-being or mental fitness is. And if we had lots of people in here and we were using the chat, we would have all sorts of different things coming up for both the food and the well-being. And the point there is that it's different for everyone. So Sara, if you'd like to go to the next slide. And we will get to well-being includes, here's a definition for everyone. So well-being includes how you feel, what you think, and what you do. So well-being involves feeling good, being healthy, successful, or having accomplishment in your life, having a meaning and a sense of purpose, and having good relationships. And it's also understanding, a very big part of it is understanding that we are all social creatures. So to be well is not a solo endeavor. We have to have other people in our lives. And what we do when it comes to intelligently managing our well-being has a huge impact on it. So intelligently actually setting out a plan, similar to the way Sara's just taken us through a plan for your business, you need to have a plan for yourself, for your own well-being as a leader within business, to make sure you can keep making the right decisions for your business and for your people. And then you also need to have, through both law, but also through good business practice, a workplace wellbeing strategy for your employees if you have them. And more than ever now, with the coming off COVID and into economic conditions, people are struggling. So we need to try to help them as much as we can. And next slide, Sara, you'll get to the slide that has our high thriving, low thriving, high struggle, low struggle. So that there is a copy. I've sent Sara the www.permasurvey.com link. If you guys want to fill that out, you will actually get a printout like this for your own personal wellbeing, which is really cool. So you can see where you fit. And one of the things that we train through our training is that wellbeing sits on two axes. So you're not either mentally well or mentally ill. You can actually be a bit of both. So you can be thriving but have some mental illness symptoms, or you can be not feeling too well but not have any mental illness symptoms. So again, it's not like that medical model. It's not like that medical model of either being healthy or well. It's a continuum that sits on two different axes.
Don't go too far.
Hang on, where are you, Sara? Sorry. Yeah, no, go back. Go back. That's it.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's okay. So if we have a look there for everyone, that's actual Australian data that you can see there. So we measured a representative sample of 1,000 businesses in 2019, just before COVID. And that was actually what we got from a perspective of workplace wellbeing across all sectors. So you can see there that there's actually only, if you want to put it that way, 16% of the population who are consistently thriving. So and the way the survey works is it asks you how you've been feeling over the last couple of weeks. And so in that snapshot, you can see that most people are living well despite struggle. So we've still got some stuff going on that we're working through and we're struggling with, but we're doing okay. And then there's all those other markers there. So I highly recommend that you do that survey to see where you fit yourself, because it gives you a good baseline. And we can see that once we got this data, 3 things that we learned were that most people who are struggling to care for their well-being, they don't struggle because of lack of willpower, but they struggle because of either lack of knowledge, lack of tools, or lack of support to help them change or to help them manage that struggle. And so research has found that our wellbeing ability, which is our actual capacity, so the knowledge and tools that we have, has a huge impact. Our wellbeing motivation, which is the actual commitment to consistently prioritise ourselves and our wellbeing. But then also for people in business, the other huge one is psychological safety. So being able to thrive and being able to manage struggle and feel like you want to get on top of things and be more to the flourishing end than the struggling end means that we actually have to feel safe. We have to have safe spaces to talk in our workplace, and we have to feel safe to talk openly and honestly about what's going on and what we're doing and how we're trying to care for ourselves. So they're the 3 big takeouts from that one. And Sara, if you want to go to the next slide. I'm racing through here, guys. This is normally a 90-minute thing, but hopefully
You're doing well. You're doing well.
So key one there. Both your levels of thriving and struggle shape your well-being. So that's the other important note to take away. If you only take one thing away from this session today, it's that well-being is not like a one and done. It's not you're either well or you're ill. It's both. And struggle is just as important for human beings as is thriving, because most of the time, if you actually have a look through the stuff that went on in your life, you needed some struggle to learn. So we usually like to stay comfy and we don't like to change things much. It's usually only when we're forced to change that we actually start to learn some stuff, and we learn new skills or we learn new things and evolve. So struggle is actually a good thing. It's just how we handle it, and it's being able to pick up struggle and work through it. And then if you go to the next one with the video, Sara, and play that, this is a really good example of how language works.
Hello, this is the German Coast Guard. What are you thinking about?
You hear that?
You hear that?
Could you hear that?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, great.
All right. So
Is that it?
Yep. So
Can I stop sharing then?
Yeah, stop sharing. So what that exemplified there was, it was a really good reminder that language matters when it comes to our well-being. So language is the lens through which we see the world and the lens through which we understand the world. So the limits of our language are often the limit of our world. So what we're increasingly finding in this sort of space is that we're getting asked for sessions a lot on resilience, because resilience is a real buzzword. But what we actually know right now, using that data, is that there are high levels of self-criticism are actually what's draining people's well-being. So it's not about resilience. It's actually about, when you dig into it, it's actually about people being super self-critical about how they've managed COVID and how they're managing this and how they're managing that. So what we really need to do is, first of all, give our employees and give ourselves a better language around wellbeing so that we can express it and understand it better, because then that enables us to provide better solutions for the real causes. So if we can only, for example, if we can only ask for what we know, then we might be actually limiting how we can help ourselves. So the other really topical thing at the moment is burnout. Lots of people are expressing that they're burnt out, but there's actually a big difference between clinically being burnt out and being exhausted or tired or feeling like you're not achieving things and not meeting your goals. There's a big difference. But if we don't have the wellbeing vocabulary to explain that, then we can just throw burnout as the reason, and then employers or ourselves can start to look for solutions to burnout. We actually don't have burnout. So it helps to be able to dig deeper through things like that research that I sent. So Sarah, onto the next slide, which is the PERMA.
Oh, sorry. So that was it. That was, okay, just a moment. So there was more to that PowerPoint?
Oh, yeah, no, you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. So there should be a PERMA slide.
Yeah, got it.
Got it?
Just didn't go to it. Just bear with me for one moment. Does it come up slowly? Is that what? Oh, here it is. Got it.
But you've got the hardest job, don't worry. Driving the presentation is always the hardest job.
I've got two windows and it's about which one I'm sharing. Is that the correct one?
That is it. Look at you go. That's it.
Oh,
So
damn.
Go
ahead.
There we go. So here we go. This is a PERMA framework, which is a positive psychology-based framework. So traditionally, most people know clinical psychology. So that's when you go to a psychiatrist or psychologist or a counsellor, and they work on mental illness, and they work on reducing your mental illness symptoms to get you back to a stage where you don't have mental illness anymore. So that's clinical psychology, which is fantastic. There's a whole nother part of psychology, which is called positive psychology, which is all based around, well, if we don't have clinical mental illness, what things can we do to actually improve and get better and better and actually flourish and promote wellbeing? And that's where this PERMA philosophy comes in. And you can see those 6 key elements to that there. So if you just have a read through that on the screen and just ask yourself, so which of these at the moment do you think you're doing well in? So positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, accomplishment, or health. And have a look at which of those wellbeing factors is maybe a little more strained at the others than the others right now. And maybe another way to, if people like numbers, Sara probably likes numbers and graphs and things. If you go and rank yourself on a 1 to 10 there, with 1 being really bad and 10 being killing it, where would you rank yourself on all of those? And then another useful thing to do then would be to say, which ones of those would I actually like to work on improving? And then there's all sorts of training that we can do to look into each of those different pillars and give different exercises and tools and all sorts of stuff. If you go to the next slide, Sara, you'll see tiny ways that you can actually care for your wellbeing. Go again. Oh, hang on, you've jumped there. Oh, that's
P equals map. This one?
Yeah, no, keep going because we'll speed it up. We'll go through there. Keep going. I won't get the guys into that technical stuff. Keep going. Yep, get all that up. One more. Bingo. Yep, there you go. So you can see there that is a very simple way to explain how you can, what you can do across each of those pillars. So you can give yourself a nudge, which is, so linking a new behavior to an existing behavior is the best way to create a new behavior. So if you want to do something good for yourself and something good for your well-being, then what you do is you say, what's something that I know I already do? What's a new thing that I can do within that pillar that will make me feel better? And then how can I link that in? So when I sit down to eat breakfast, I'll prioritise a jolt of joy to start my day, so I've got the energy to play. So that jolt of joy could be looking at playing with, patting the dog, looking at a positive picture, playing a song, anything that makes you feel good. You can actually link that to when I sit down to have my brekkie. So rather than saying, oh, I should start the day by creating a routine, whenever we say should, it's never going to happen. So we need to replace, whenever we're trying to change behaviour, we need to replace shoulds with wills. So when I will is the way that we build a new behaviour, not one day I should. And so they're the different things that we can do across there, which have all been proven to build well-being across the life. If you want to go to the next slide, Sara.
Is this it?
Keep going. Yeah, that's like the other. Keep going. So that was just a reminder. And there we go. There are, go back. So we will give everyone this presentation pack too, so you don't have to stress. So there are just some other ways that you can care for your well-being across those 6 pillars. So you can see down the left-hand side, you've got your 6 pillars of PERMA, and they're just some simple things that you can do. When you jump on the website and do the survey, you'll get access to over 200 other little things that you can do as well to help build your well-being. If you go to the next one, Sara. They're just some ideas again around, and this is very useful based on BJ Fogg's work around tiny habits and around building better habits. To give ourselves a chance to create a habit, it's best for us to create a nudge for ourselves. So we need to actually create a statement that says, when I do something that already exists, I will, here's my new behavior, and then I will celebrate by. And by celebrating, once we've done that new behavior, we give ourselves a little squirt of dopamine, and that actually says to our brain, oh, that was good. So that then tells our brain, this new behavior, that's actually really cool. So I think I might do that more. And that then enables us to build that habit quicker. And if you want to go to the next slide, Sara. And that's what I just mentioned there. So if we really want to, if you really want to solidify any new behavior that you have, we really need to celebrate it. Australians are bad at celebrating. So we've got that very laid back, don't make a big deal about stuff type culture. So you kind of almost need to make out like you're an American and be really brash and, loud and proud when you're trying to build a new behavior. And the reason why is because you need that dopamine spike. And the celebration is what gives you the spike. And what you're then doing is getting your brain addicted to that new behavior. So we need to sort of be un-Australian and be more loud and proud when we do that new behavior. But it doesn't have to be a big overt thing. It can be a little mental thing of giving yourself a little smile or congratulating yourself or doing anything you like to celebrate. But we need, what studies show and the evidence shows, when you're trying to build a new behavior, you need to celebrate to lock that in. Next slide, please, Sara. And there's just
do a victory lap.
Yeah, that's it. There's some, so you can do the Leighton Hewitt fist pump. You can tick it off. You can do the smile. You can do whatever you like, but you just have to make sure that you do it as soon as possible after you do your new behavior. And that will then create that loop, creates that learning loop and that habit loop. And then it makes it a hell of a lot easier for you to achieve something. And next one.
You're not going to make us get up and do a little dance?
I know, but there you go. That's what he's doing. So he's doing his victory lap. Oh yeah, no, he's not. Yeah. So there you go. I don't know what he's just done, but he's very happy with himself. And then go to the next one. Emotions. He looks even daggy. There you go. So this is normally where I'd say, because another important thing with all of these workshops too is that to cement this learning loop, I now ask you what you've actually learned from today's session and what little tiny thing you might be able to do for your well-being. And then I would ask you to write that down. And then if you were with someone, I'd get you to share that as well. And then that cements that learning loop, and that gives you a much greater chance of actually doing something. Because all of us will know it's very easy to sit and just go to workshop and webinar and just take in lots and lots and lots of knowledge. So that's the beginning of the learning loop. But we then actually need to think about it, act on it, and tell someone about it, and then we can learn from it. So have a bit of a think about what you might do today and write that down and maybe share it with someone, and off you go. And that's it. That's a 90-minute session in about 15 or 20 minutes, Sarah.
No, you've done well. Thank you, Ashley.
No problem.
And by the way, like, this is a way to create a business with impact. If you provide this kind of training for your employees, it absolutely would help them not only at work, but also in their lives. And that's how you can make a difference.
Yeah. So the research in Australia around workplace wellbeing now is that for every dollar that's spent by employers, they get $3.40 back in return, which comes from reduced absenteeism, reduced sick leave, reduced accidents, increased productivity, all that stuff. So
Being a good business pays off as well. So it's not just about, because I mean, you know, some companies may think, I mean, I'm sure you've seen this in the big corporates, Maria, I certainly have. They think by investing in their people is a dollar sign, but in actual fact, it's
an investment in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Were there any questions? Belinda, do you have any questions? You can put them in the chat. If you click in the chat, you can type them in. Okay.
All good. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. So this is good because we're giving you back 10 minutes of your day. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending, and thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Maria. And when we send you, we will send you the recording, and we will send you the slides, and also the link. We'll send you the dates for the next webinars. So thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Maria, for co-hosting. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.